There are some things that science can't explain. One-year wonders in the NFL is one of them. How can so many players that have one Pro Bowl year where everything falls into place only to become irrelevant and forgotten about soon after? These 10 active NFL players displayed the ability to become a franchise-changing star for a season, but they have since looked like nothing more than one-year wonders. Number 10. Eric Ebron. The North Carolina tight end was drafted 10th overall by the Detroit Lions in 2014. He looked like the perfect fit in an offense that already had Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson. But for whatever reason, Ebron just never panned out on his pass-happy offense. Ebron only played 4 years in Detroit, never topping 711 yards in a season. He only had 11 total touchdowns at the Lions, too. Ebron signed with the Indianapolis Colts in 2018, and he quickly proved to be a wonderful fit with Andrew Luck. Ebron set career highs across the board: 66 receptions, 750 yards, and 13 touchdowns. That's right. In 1 year with the Colts, Ebron had more touchdowns than his 4 years in Detroit combined. Ebron earned his first Pro Bowl selection and helped the Colts advance to the postseason, where they were dispatched by the Kansas City Chiefs. Ebron was unable to build off that magic in 2019, however. Luck abruptly announced his retirement, and Jacoby Brissett couldn't make it work with Ebron, who finished with a mere 31 receptions for 375 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ebron signed a 2-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2020 offseason. We'll find out soon enough if he's a one-hit wonder or if the guy just needs an elite quarterback to make him a Pro Bowler. Number 9. Blake Bortles. Drafted 3rd overall by the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2014, Bortles actually looked like a future star in his sophomore year. Bortles seemingly broke out in 2015 with 4,428 passing yards and 35 touchdowns. Only Tom Brady threw more touchdowns that season. Bortles also orchestrated 4 game-winning drives, while helping Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson both cross the 1,000-yard mark. Suddenly, Jacksonville looked like a future offensive juggernaut, but 2015 wasn't a breakout year for Bortles. It was simply a mirage. Bortles fell back to earth in 2016 with 3,905 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. The Jaguars made a surprise run to the 2017 AFC Championship game, but that was on the basis of their dominant and ferocious Jacksonville defense and 1,000-yard rusher Leonard Fournette. Bortles was the weak link in that team, which Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots exposed. Bortles received a 3-year extension in the offseason, but he fell back to earth and lost 9 of the 12 starts, eventually losing the gig to backup Cody Kessler. The Jaguars gave up and released Bortles in the 2019 offseason, and he decided to take on a backup role with the Los Angeles Rams. At least Bortles gave Jacksonville 1 year of borderline stardom, and to be fair to him, most quarterbacks that go to Jacksonville are doomed. Just ask Blaine Gabbert and Nick Foles. Number 8. Jason Verrett. If injuries didn't keep sidelining him, Verrett wouldn't be on this list. Drafted 24th overall by the San Diego and now Los Angeles Chargers in 2014, Verrett didn't need too long to make an impact. He enjoyed a breakout year in 2015, his sophomore season, with 3 interceptions and 12 passes defended. Verrett earned his first Pro Bowl selection, and Pro Football Focus ranked him as the 49th best player from the 2015 campaign. Verrett played 4 games in 2016 before an ACL tear ended his promising season. He suited up for just 1 game in 2017 before suffering another season-ending knee injury. Sadly, it didn't end there. In 2018 training camp, Verrett suffered a torn Achilles and had to miss the entire year. Shame, because the 2018 Chargers won 12 games and reached the AFC divisional round. He could have been that final piece needed to take them to a Super Bowl. Verrett signed with the San Francisco 49ers in the 2019 offseason, but once again, he was limited to 1 game due to an ankle injury. On the positive side, San Fran decided to re-sign him ahead of the 2020 season. Here's hoping Verrett can finally stay healthy and regain that elite form again. Number 7. Mitch Trubisky. The Chicago Bears had the right idea at the 2017 draft. They needed a quarterback, so GM Ryan Pace swung a deal with the San Francisco 49ers to move up from the number 3rd slot in the draft to number 2 overall. They used the pick on North Carolina quarterback Mitch Trubisky, while passing on 2 future superstars in Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Like Bortles, Trubisky predictably struggled in his rookie year. In 2018, the Bears decided to focus more on building around Trubisky, hiring offensive-minded Matt Nagy to take over as the new head coach. The Bears also signed pass catchers Allen Robinson, Trey Burton, and Taylor Gabriel to help out Trubisky, and it worked beautifully. Trubisky threw for 3,223 yards and 24 touchdowns against just 12 interceptions. He added 421 rushing yards and a trio of scores, too. The Bears won the NFC North with a 12-14 record before narrowly losing to the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC wildcard game.
That's impossible!
Expectations were high in the Windy City entering 2019, before Trubisky suffered a major third-year regression. His completion percentage fell by 3.4%, and Trubisky tossed 7 fewer touchdowns while averaging 21 less passing yards per game. He took 38 sacks compared to just 24 in 2018. Chicago went from 9th in scoring offense to 29th in just one season. They finished 2019 with a disappointing 8-8 record. Pace traded for journeyman and Super Bowl champion Nick Foles to put the pressure on Trubisky. Only time will tell if the former number 2 overall pick is a one-hit wonder or a true franchise quarterback. Number 6. Jay Ajayi. The Miami Dolphins thought they had a late-round steal. They turned out to get a one-year wonder instead. Ajayi was drafted in the 5th round with the 149th selection in 2015, and he broke out in 2016 after just 49 carries in his rookie year. Ajayi rushed for 1,272 yards and 8 touchdowns, averaging a whopping 4.9 yards per carry. He was the heart and soul of Miami's offense and helped them reach the postseason for the first time in 8 years, despite losing starting quarterback Ryan Tannehill late in the season. Ajayi earned a Pro Bowl selection for his efforts, but he hasn't gotten back to that level ever since. Ajayi was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles ahead of the 2017 trade deadline. He shared the load with LeGarrette Blount, and they helped Philly win Super Bowl 52 over the New England Patriots. Ajayi suffered an ACL tear in the 2018 season and was done just after 4 games. He rejoined the Eagles late in 2019, but saw just 10 carries, and Ajayi was released before the end of the regular season. Given his declining production and unfortunate injury woes, it's unlikely that Ajayi will ever come close to reaching that 2016 form again. At least he reached the top of the mountain and won a championship with Philly, though. Number 5. Terrelle Pryor. After he spent his rookie year on the bench, the Oakland Raiders decided to use Pryor as the quarterback, runner, and receiver for a handful of plays during the 2012 campaign. Pryor struggled as the Raiders starter in 2013, however, losing 6 of 9 starts while tossing 7 touchdowns against 11 picks. Pryor didn't play at all in 2014, but he later joined the Cleveland Browns in 2015 as a backup signal caller. The Browns decided to use Pryor as a receiver in 2016, and it paid off nicely. He pulled off quite the comeback story, with 77 receptions for 1,007 yards and 4 touchdowns. Just when it looked like he was about to become a star, however, Pryor fell back to earth. Pryor signed with the Washington Redskins in the offseason, but was limited to 9 games because of an ankle injury. He split 2018 with the New York Jets and Buffalo Bills, but only posted 16 total receptions for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pryor didn't play at all in 2019. Give him credit for having one strong transition year. It's never easy going from playing quarterback to playing wide receiver. It's just too bad that Pryor could never regain that magical 2016 form. Number 4. Tyler Eifert. After 2 injury-filled and unproductive seasons to start out his career, Eifert finally put it all together in 2015. He caught 52 passes for 615 yards and 13 touchdowns to earn his first career Pro Bowl selection. Eifert also helped the Bengals win the AFC North before getting dispatched by the Steelers in the wildcard round. Unfortunately, Eifert has turned out to be quite the one-hit wonder. A plethora of injuries limited him to just 14 games between the 2016 and 2018 seasons. Finally healthy in 2019, Eifert could only muster 43 receptions for 436 yards and 3 touchdowns. But it's hard for us to believe that he'll regain his Pro Bowl form half a decade later following all these injuries. It really is too bad that Eifert's body betrayed him during what was supposed to be his prime. Number 3, Vic Beasley. The Atlanta Falcons drafted Beasley 8th overall in 2015, and he quickly went to work in helping revamp a terrible defense. After a meh rookie season, Beasley put together quite the dominant sophomore year. He finished with a league-leading 15.5 sacks, along with 2 passes defended and a whopping 6 forced fumbles. Beasley was instrumental in helping an otherwise extremely flawed Atlanta defense get to Super Bowl 51, where they fell to the Patriots. Beasley earned Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro selection for his efforts, and then, inexplicably, the production declined from there. Beasley recorded just 10 total sacks and only 1 forced fumble over the next 2 seasons. In a make-or-break 2019 season, he had 8 sacks, but it wasn't enough to convince the Falcons that Beasley was worth a long-term deal. This one-year wonder signed with the Tennessee Titans in 2020 free agency. If he doesn't turn around with Mike, then nobody should count on Beasley to ever come close to that elite 2016 form again. Number 2, Robert Griffin III. RG3 wouldn't be on this list if the dysfunctional and mismanaged Washington Redskins organization actually knew what they were doing. Washington surrendered a king's ransom to move up and draft Griffin with the number 2 selection in 2012, right after the Colts took Andrew Luck. Griffin had a rookie season for the ages, leading Washington to a surprise NFC East Division crown while capturing the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. He had 3,200 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions, while adding 815 rushing yards and 7 rushing scores. But we all know the rest. Washington had RG3 play on a bad knee, which he worsened during their wildcard playoff loss to the Seattle Seahawks. After a brutal sophomore slump in the 2013 season, RG3's body continued to betray him. He started just 7 games in 2014 and lost the starting job to Kirk Cousins a year later. Washington released Griffin after just 4 seasons, and he joined the Cleveland Browns for a short stint in 2016. He is now a backup quarterback, having been with the Baltimore Ravens since 2018. Again, RG3 can't take all the blame here. Washington's total disregard for his health cost Griffin the chance to be anything more than a 2012 rookie sensation. Number 1, Josh Norman. How can somebody go from hands-down elite, world-class, grade A to just merely average, and then below average? Josh Norman has that story to tell. A 2012 5th-round pick to the Carolina Panthers, Norman was relatively quiet and not so productive during his first 3 seasons. Everything changed when the 2015 season arrived, however. Norman suddenly broke out and enjoyed one of the most dominant cornerback seasons ever. He had 19 passes defended and 4 interceptions, helping Carolina win a league-best 15 games en route to Super Bowl 50, where they fell to the Denver Broncos. Norman earned Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro selections. He completely shut down the likes of Julio Jones, T.Y. Hilton, Mike Evans, and DeAndre Hopkins. According to PFF, only 51% of passes in Norman's direction were caught, and he yielded a 54.0 passer rating. The Panthers curiously rescinded the franchise tag and allowed Norman to leave in free agency during the 2016 season. He signed a massive 5-year, $75 million deal with Washington, a team that always wastes money in free agency. Norman never came anywhere close to that Pro Bowl form again. He was a massive letdown in Washington and was benched on numerous occasions during his 4-year tenure in DC. Norman was released in the 2020 offseason and signed a 1-year deal with the Buffalo Bills. Our advice to the Bills, keep your expectations low. The guy's a 1-year wonder, and that one good season is now a distant memory. What other NFL players look like 1-year wonders? Join us in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea, because we put up videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.